Joining us here on evening number 2 of the Lincoln Challenger, a man through to round number 2 in straight sets, a returning champion, to our Cracked Racquets platforms. It's our friend, Oliver Tarvet, joining us once again. Ollie, first of all, congratulations on the straight set victory. Obviously, Jay's a guy you know. Jay Friend, your opponent here tonight. To get that win, does it make you feel like I won 2 ITA All-Americans now? Or just talk me through the match tonight, what you did best out there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a good match. It's always tough when you lose first round in 2 weeks back-to-back. It's always important just to get the confidence going, just starting to feel good. But yeah, it was, just a big thing for me was just bringing a lot of energy. I feel like, as I said, especially last week, I didn't do a great job of that, doing it throughout the whole match. And it was just important for me, just to, as I said, just focus on what gives me success, and that's just being very external, being competitive, and just making a lot of balls and being scrappy. And I thought I did a good job of that today, and just doing that throughout the whole course of the match, from start to finish. So I was just happy that I was able to do that. No,
that second set in particular was impressive. I think you and our intern James was pointing out, he said 20 minutes without missing a ball. So shout out to you, shout out to his stat. But I'm curious, when's the last time you played an indoor match? Like, was it the indoors back in February? Did it take a second to get accustomed to it once again?
Yeah, it was actually, I practiced for like 2 days indoors with Jack Draper. I got the call up, and it wasn't like, I went from playing on the slow USD like hard, and then I went straight back to England, like jet lagged, and I got chucked on the court with Draper. And it was obviously great for me, but it was tough. But yeah, I mean, just USD, it's always sunshine. So I mean, there's not an indoor court within like 200 miles of our campus. So yeah, I haven't spent a lot of time indoors, but I mean, it's growing up in England, it's not always great weather. So it's still in there. Like you never lose it when you play like 6-7 months of the year indoors. I actually quite enjoy it, even though obviously I love our slow courts at USD. I feel like give me a few days and I can make the transition from our slow courts to indoor hard. So no, I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, we saw that again today in an impressive straight set victory against Jay. And is it weird? Is it easier when you're facing a fellow college athlete at a pro event like this? Obviously, Carlos Alcaraz is not a pro athlete, but you faced at Wimbledon. You played Roehampton. I don't know if you played any college guys there, but to be back on a college-centric pro grind these past couple of weeks, is it strange?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've played friend in a college setting, and then, I don't think it's so strange. I just think you just go out there and just compete. I feel like for me, nothing really changes. I think that's just the main thing. Whether obviously I know friend well. He's I really respect their program. Clancy does a really good job, with Colton, friends. I'm sure they're going to have a bunch of freshmen and guys upcoming. But yeah, as I said, just I think you just kind of got to put the friendship, put the college, just in the back of your mind, and just focus on what gives me success. And I think indeed what is going to give me the best chance to win. And as today, I think I did a good job of doing that.
Yeah, no, there's a little joking between the two of you after you're like, dude, the loss was going to come eventually. He's been winning everything. But it was said in a very loving tone, just for those of you curious. And so, yeah, it was fun to see that dynamic between the two of you. And just the dynamic right now more broadly. Obviously, the headline, Vachereau, Rinderknecht, what they just did in Shanghai. But Michael's won 15 Challenger matches in a row, Michael Zhang. Rafa's had a massive summer as well. When you see all of these college peers of yours have this sort of success, is it motivating? Is it reassuring? What is your reaction to seeing it all?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it's great to see. I think it just is a testament of how great the college system is. And it's not coming from one university; it's coming from multiple different universities where they're having breakthroughs in challenges. I obviously had a good run at Wimbledon. I just think it's I said it multiple times at Wimbledon. It's just you have everything. You find the right teammates, the right coaches, the right facilities. And in the day, you have everything handed to you. And as long as you show up every day and give it 100%, it's very difficult not to succeed. And I think that's just, it's showing, Obviously, Michael's a great example. Holdar, as you said, but there are many other guys, like Sika Sohn, Colton Smith. There's countless players who are coming through and kind of speed running the rankings, So yeah, I think it's just great. And just for any juniors, I think it's, even if it doesn't have to be for 4 years, it can be for however long. I think it's a great stepping stone and a great path for you to kind of get through the futures as quickly as possible and, make damage in the futures as soon as you come out.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, Pennington Jones, another one who's won a couple Challenger titles since leaving school as well. There's so many you can turn to. The Accelerator program, been asking a couple of guys about it here this week. And are you using Accelerator to get into this, or was it ranking?
I actually, ranking.
Okay, shout out to you, by the way. You still have some accelerators to use?
I do, yeah, but Lagu is entering and then pulling out of them. If you're watching, just don't enter, please.
Timo, you're killing him. Come on, man. It's your fellow college, you got to show some love, college athlete. I'm just curious if, does knowing that you can qualify for that Accelerator program again, is that any part of the incentive of this is part of the reason why I want to come back to school or why I can come back to school? How helpful is that in making your decisions here?
Yeah, I mean, definitely it helps. It's a really great platform. It's just getting main draws and getting even qualified to challenges. You got to be, to get main draw, you got to be, top 350. And it's tough. You got to have a lot of points, got a lot of good weeks, and it just gives you so many good opportunities. And same as qualifiers, you got to be like top 500 to get into these events. So, yeah, it's obviously a big, reason of why I'm coming back. But I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, the main reason I'm coming back is because of what the program's done to me. As I said, I'm not saying I'm a complete product right now, but USD is done so much for me. Even through, my freshman year when things won is good. I think they've kind of ridden the lows of me, and now I'm, they're gonna obviously ride the highs as well. So yeah, that's just a big part, and it's, not even from what they've done to me. It's just where I'm happiest. Our teammates are just, obviously they're my brothers. I have great relationships with them. Our coaches, obviously, great relationships with our assistant in our head, Ryan Keckley and Alex Funkhauser, and yeah, that's just a big part of it. I feel like I developed there quickest, and that's why currently I'm not enrolled in school, but I chose to go back to USD, and be there and be in the environment. Obviously, there are a few things that I can and can't do, just with NCAA compliance, but just being around them, just being around their energy and is where I have the most fun. Hearing them chirp, it's fun. It's what makes tennis fun. And I think, when you're enjoying it, and that's, when you develop the quickest. And especially, as I said, when you have two, three great coaches that their knowledge is just incredible. It's, as I said, tough not to improve.
Is there any part of you that misses class this fall? Or are you like, I don't need any class, I'm good?
There isn't. Okay,
good. That's what I wanted to hear. I just wanted to make sure, because I'm sure you miss the guys. I'm sure you miss the campus life. But yeah, that's the nice little carrot at the end of the stick. It's like, well, at least you don't have to take classes.
It's just less stress, After a long day, I can just come back, stretch, and sleep.
I say this with love. You know who doesn't have to read anything they don't want to today? Oliver Tarvet. Doesn't have to do any of that, and that's got to be nice. Well, my last two questions for you. Don't yell at me. When we last saw your team, obviously, second round exit to USC is not what you were looking for. God, you guys should see his eyes right now. He's ready to jump. Just having that linger all summer long. I know your group. There's no way that wasn't motivation. Talk to me about the summer for your guys, what you've seen so far this fall.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. Obviously, I think one of the reasons what makes our program so great is because, not only of how we respond to wins, but also how we respond to losses. We use both of them to get better. And I think that's, critical of any good program. And yeah, it definitely lit a fire. It's like a massive goal of ours. It's never been done for our tennis team to reach, round of 16. It was a massive goal of ours. And, obviously we got a little bit unlucky with a couple of injuries. Obviously that's, not saying that's the defining reason. But yeah, it definitely just lit a fire on us. And I think, we know, especially as it being my senior year, Stian's senior year, Lambert's and Neo's, this is our last chance to do it. And, we're definitely not going to let up on that opportunity again. So, we're doing everything that we can, just giving it 100% each day to make sure, because at the end of the day, the work for May, it's not just a week before or 2 weeks before. It's, it stems in the fall. If you have a good fall, it's, I feel like it's always you have a good spring. It's like a direct correlation. So yeah, we're having great guys. Stian won, SoCal Intercollegiate. So
shout out Stian.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mate.
I love that. No, always shouting out the teammates, always thinking about them, and again, that's why it's certainly a blast for all of us to know that we will have you back for one more season. And in that spirit, personal goals for you, whether it be for the home stretch, whether it be for your game, just what are you hoping to accomplish over the next 7-8 months before you do take tennis full time and turn professional?
Yeah, I mean, I think a big goal that I set for me is kind of more long term is to make Australian Open qualies. Obviously seeing Michael Zhang kind of doing it in 3 tournaments, I feel like that's motivating. Obviously I lost him 2 weeks ago. He's playing incredibly, but I know that I have, I have a similar level when I'm playing well. So that's definitely a big goal of mine. And then I think I feel like I just got to take it day by day. I think that's what I realized, especially on the Challenger Tour, that I feel like you just got to do with the best intention of just getting up in the morning and just giving it your best shot for that day, and then just see where it takes you. I think obviously long-term goals are great, but I think for me it's more important to just focus on the present and focus on what tomorrow holds, and then the rest will take care of itself. That's just, as I said, just competing hard, valuing every point, and trying to make my life, my opponent's life, is as miserable as possible.
No, well, we certainly saw that here tonight. And just so you know, a little fun fact, our new intern James with us here this week, he's been making some fun of me because every time we see one of you college guys, and there's so many of you out here, I keep going, oh, that's my guy. You are certainly one of my guys. Oliver Tarvet, it is always great to see you. Congratulations on the victory.